Hey team, today we're diving into a topic that's huge in real estate right now, and that's short-term rentals. You've probably heard clients ask about Airbnbs or VRBOs or investment properties they can rent out weekly or nightly or whatever. And whether you're personally managing them or not, you need to understand how they work so you can guide your clients and be the expert in the room that they need. So in this training, I'm going to break it down into simple, short steps about short-term rentals, what they are, how they make money, what the risks are, and what your role as a real estate professional is. All right, and yes, I will also share some of my real world stories, so this doesn't feel like a textbook kind of stuff. That would be awful. Okay, so what is a short-term rental? Well, here in Florida, anything that is under 6 months. So 6 months and under is considered a short-term rental. When I first started hearing about Airbnb, I thought it was just like people renting out their spare bedrooms. Yeah, but then some of my clients were coming to me. They wanted to turn a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that was on their property into some kind of cash cow. And they did. They made $6,000 a month on a mobile home. It was crazy. It was crazy. Okay. They were making more in 1 month on the short-term rental than most long-term rentals were in 2 to 6 months. It's crazy. So that's when it clicked with me that this is an actual business model. It's not just some kind of weird side hustle where you're renting somebody's spare room. All right. A short-term rental, an STR, is any property rented by the night or week, or here in Florida, 6 months or less. So think Airbnb, VRBO, seasonal rentals, short-term rent, all that kind of stuff. It's different from long-term leases. Why? Well, they cost more, so there's higher potential income. There's a lot more management required. I will have to say we manage 4 or 5 of them, and it's very much like managing a hotel where the rooms are 20 miles apart. It's very odd. There's also different laws and different rules that apply to these short-term rentals, so be aware of that. There's a lot of communities, so like counties, cities, whatever, that have made ordinances that apply to them. While it's almost impossible to ban them outright because of homeownership rights, there are definitely some things they can do to limit them significantly. So, Airbnbs, short-term rentals, VRBOs, whatever you want to call it, basically they are part of the hospitality industry. And they are real estate. It's combined. It's a very odd little niche thing, okay? So how much do short-term rentals actually make? Well, one client bought a $250,000 brand new construction home. Long-term, it would rent for right around $2,000 a month. Short-term, she's averaging about $3,800 a month. But that's after expense, or that's before expenses. She also has to work it. She has cleaners, she has check-ins, she has deals with guests who ask if the pool is heated at 2 a.m. You know, like it's absolute insanity. So she does have to do some work, all right? The revenue on these is basically the nightly rate times the occupancy rate. So let's say it's a whole house. You got $150 a night. You got 20 nights that it's rented. So it's about $3,000. No, it's not rented every single day of the entire month. Normally, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Most likely it's not. Often you will actually have people stay for 3 or 4 days at a time over and over and over again. And you're going to have more days during the week that it's not rented. Again, think of it more like a hotel room, even though it's a whole house. So what are those expenses? Cleaning fees, which oftentimes are passed on to the guest, but you're also going to have utilities. Wi-Fi is expected. Furniture, replacing furniture, because the wear and tear on that is just ridiculous. You're going to need supplies, paper towels, toilet paper, shampoo and conditioner, preferably if you have that there. The wear and tear on the sheets, the blankets, the towels is incredible. So you are going to need to have line items in your budget to replace that stuff as well. Everything from a teaspoon in the kitchen all the way to a cutting board to bath towels, all the stuff. Okay. And then if you have a management company like ours, normally they are more expensive for that than the annual. Annual, we will normally have a fee for leasing it out, and then we have a small amount during each month that we charge. With short-term rentals, we don't charge a leasing fee because it's constant and continuous. We only get paid when we have guests in there, so we want to get guests in there, but it's normally like 20 to 30% for managing essentially your own personal hotel. All right, so what I want you to do is, in your market, what would the average nightly rate be for, let's say, a 3-bedroom home in your neighborhood? Go ahead and take a look. You can actually find out by looking up as if you were going to rent a room in or a house in your neighborhood that was on Airbnb. So go on Airbnb, go on VRBO, also Google vacation homes or Google vacation rentals. I don't remember. That one also is one that's kind of up and coming. So look at all of those and see which ones have houses in your area and what they're going for. It's kind of interesting, to say the least. Keep in mind, if they are in HOAs, there are some issues with that as well. A lot of HOAs are seriously cracking down on short-term rentals. It used to be, 3 months is perfectly fine. Now they're saying like 6 months. It really just depends. I had an investor once that was so excited about a townhouse for Airbnb. It was a great location. It was a good price. But he missed a key factor. The HOA completely banned any rentals under 6 months. Well, that's just fabulous. He was furious, not just furious. So it's definitely one of the first things I check is to see if the house is in an HOA. And keep in mind, if the house is in an HOA and it's not against the regulations right now, that doesn't mean that later that could change. HOA rules and regulations change all the time. So if it is in an HOA, be very, very, very wary, okay? All right, there's also, like I said, those city and county regulations that vary, and some require permits, some require taxes, or they limit the number of days you can rent or the number of people. But yeah, a lot of HOAs are cracking down on short-term rentals. So as agents, it is definitely your job to help your customer ask the right questions right up front, especially with those short-term rentals if they're purchasing them for investment purposes, okay? So just say something real simple. Say, before you buy, let's go ahead and verify the city rules and the HOA docs so we don't end up with a property that you can't actually use as a short-term rental like you want, all right? Simple, right? Simple. It doesn't mean that you have to know the answer. It just means that you have to ask the question. All right. Now, like I said, there is a lot of work involved, a lot of work. Some people on the TikTok are being told that they just get a short-term rental and they sit back and all the money just pours in. And it's, what do they call it when they have, I don't know, it's just income that's passive. That's it. Passive income. You just passively sit back and enjoy all the income that comes to you. That is not it at all. I absolutely promise you that is not it at all. Yeah. They will, the issues that arise with short-term rentals, I have not seen in the annual rentals that we do. I haven't seen, they will stain the sofa, they will leave trash, they will do all sorts of stuff. The stuff they've done in pans in the kitchen sink where you have to literally sit them to scrub repeatedly. It's like, why? Yeah, no, it is not passive. Okay. Of all the things it is, lucrative, yes. Passive, no. Okay. It's basically running a hotel. All right. So I want you to make sure that if you are selling a house to an investor for the purpose of short-term renting, they have to understand that they will be doing a hospitality business. Okay. Guests also expect, we call them guests, not tenants. Guests expect hotel level cleanliness and extremely fast responses. They also have to have systems for check-ins, lock boxes, backup for lock codes. You have to have an incredible cleaning crew. You also have to make sure to restock the supplies. And if you don't do all of that, you could potentially get a bad review. And if you have more than 1 or 2 bad reviews, you get kicked off of Airbnb or VRBO or whatever. Or you lose your superhost status or whatever you've got going on. And if you do that, you're not going to be doing a short-term rental. Just straight out. Make sure to tell your customer that if they don't want the headaches, they should hire a short-term rental management company. It's going to eat into their profits, but it will save their sanity. Okay, I am insane for them. It's great. Your role as an agent. Oh boy. Well, as an agent, I had an investor once come to me and they were ready to buy any house as an Airbnb, just absolutely anything. If it had walls, they were like, let's do this. My job wasn't just to sell them any house though. It is also to protect them from buying the wrong house. So we looked at several properties, but only one made sense financially, legally, in the long term. They bought that one and still explained to me today that as an agent, you were so helpful. Okay, that's what you want. All right. So educate, explain the basics to short-term rentals, the same as I'm explaining it to you. Guide them, help them analyze if the property fits their model, protect them, check zoning, check HOA, check insurance, all the stuff. Okay. Connect them as well, introduce them to cleaners, property managers, accountants. Not all property managers, by the way, handle short-term rentals. It's a very niche market. And let them know I can't guarantee income. I can help you buy a property that makes sense and set you up with the right people, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be the perfect business, okay? There are a lot of risks and rewards with this. So rewards are higher cash flow, definitely some appreciation. There's flexibility because owners can use the property themselves if they want a vacation there. But there's just so many risks as well. City bans, high turnover, bad guests that could possibly ruin the property, market saturation because there's so many other people that are like, oh, you make amazing passive income on Airbnb. Let's all do this. One of my owners absolutely loves her Airbnb income, but she's facing a new ordinance. It just hit in her area, and overnight, her nightly rentals are cut down to 90 days a year max. So, yeah, that's not great. So yeah, she actually is probably going to opt to do long-term rentals. So that's a wake-up call for y'all. Okay, things can change. Short-term rentals can be very profitable, but things can change. So clients need to be going in with their eyes wide open, and you need to help them open them eyes. Okay. So here's the deal. Short-term rentals aren't for everyone. They are not passive. They are massive. They are a massive part of today's real estate market anyway. So if you understand them, basically, then you can stand out with investors, especially with those that are looking for that type of niche market. You can also really, really help your buyer customers, because if they're relocating here, they may need to stay in an Airbnb or something like that. So having somebody that you can just text and say, hey, is your Airbnb open, your short-term rental open this time and this time? Because I've got somebody that needs to stay there until their house closes or until their house is finished being built or whatever. So it can be very, very helpful for you to have some owners of short-term rentals in your phone book. Oh, I just aged myself terribly. In your contact list in your phone. All right, so research your short-term rental rules in your city and county. Watch Airbnb listings in your area, what they're charging, which neighborhoods are more expensive than others, and why. Write out a script you can use with a client when they ask, hey, can I use this as an Airbnb? Remember, it's not just your job to sell a house and that's a fantasy, okay? You need to tell the truth. You need to guide your customers and help them succeed long-term, not just short-term. Pun intended. Thanks for watching. And if this helped you, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future trainings. I'll see you next time. Bye.